G'day, mate, and welcome to Australia. It's Marsh on the call, running solo with a little bit of our pal Yells joining us here at the Opera House of Hoops in the land down under, mate. You're going to get a lot of really crappy Australian accents coming your way this fine morning because I was the only one that knew how to set an alarm and get on a flight to Australia. 4-hour matchup, Oceania playing host to the North. The third of our international flavor of Saturday Sim World Hoops coming at you. Big game for Oceania, of course. 8-11 on the season and a very stacked and an ill-advised three-pointer there for the North to kick things off. That would be Enzo Wolf on the attempt. But a big game for Oceania, Cole Webb and squad as they are looking to move to 9-11 facing the league's worst team. But of course everyone knows when these games are broadcast on SimWorld TV, anything can happen. So Oceania looking to avoid a potentially disastrous game. Alex Rodriguez and co. with the North trying to play upset. A team without a head coach, a headless snake going through, at this point, it seems to be the rigmaroles in the final stretch of the Sim World season.
So Marsh, I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to seeing the matchup between Cole Webb and Alex Rodriguez. I think that is a similar skill set. I think a lot of people may look at them in the same vein, but defensively, I think we'll get to see what these guys are made of, and I think we'll also get to see how they step up to the challenger guard in one level.
Alex Rodriguez, the white-haired man, just hits a three. It's 8-0, finally breaking the seal there for Oceania, making it 8-2, but the North, certainly a big matchup with Rodriguez. They've had a struggling season from their should-be number one guy, Marcus Leifat, shooting just 35%. No major rotation players on the North squad shooting above 50% on the season. Only one, Micah Kiefer, in general, is above 500. But Enzo Wolf says, I don't care. There's a triple 11-2
Marsh,
as we come in on the 2-minute mark.
Marsh, they're on fire right now. It looks like they have something to prove. And sometimes when a team comes out, no coach, just not playing very well. I think the race to one seeding outlook came out, and it looks very bleak for this squad. It looks like all the pressure's off, and they're just like, hey, screw it. Let's go out here and play ball the way we know how.
Well, very bleak would be a understatement. They are 5.5 games back with no real signs of any type of development that would help them make a comeback. Up 11-4, however. Can't get the layup to go inside. But yes, indeed, the race to one standings, the playoff picture has come into full focus. Oceania is the basket there from one Cole Webb. Sitting in at 11-6 now, in this game. But Cole Webb, where were we talking? We were talking Oceania. This is what happens when one man's on the call. Oceania, 8-11, but they are just a game back of the playoffs. So plenty at stake here, and I think I could be corrected, but it's tough to miss the man. Big Bob, I believe, has caught the supersonic jet to join us. Am I correct in understanding that?
I missed the boat, I missed the jet, I had to swim, I had to dodge some sharks, and here I am, though.
My goodness, we are happy to have you on, Bob. You were saving us what could have been 45 minutes of complete chaos, but we're here. It's 13-8, getting you up to speed. Oceania fell down 8-0 as Alex Rodriguez can't get that one to fall.
To be fair, it's still going to be another 45 minutes of chaos. There's just going to be a couple of us here.
Two chaotic heads at the top of this one, but you at least are saving us from some poorly done Australian accents, although, I might still break it out. I haven't decided.
Whoa, what have I missed? So we got the North 13, Oceania 10. What's A-Rod doing?
Well, A-Rod got a little triple going early on, and that's a slam block from the North, but 8-0 run by the North to kick things off has not gone smoothly since then, as another easy 2 buckets. That's from one and only Richard Hennessy. Anyhow, that's not Richard Hennessy.
Yeah, it is.
It is Richard. Okay, I'm misreading my stat sheet there. Thank you. So we've got 13-12 now, so a little 12-5 run since that 8-0 start from the North.
I'm surprised I expected us to hear a lot more of Hennessy this season, and I feel like we haven't. I feel like we really haven't heard too much of him. I mean, every now and again he's big, he's huge, and I don't know, he gets some blocks here and stuff. I don't know. I just don't feel like he really does a whole lot.
Richard Hennessy does not do a whole lot. That's the statement of fact that you're making?
Correct.
Well, he last time I was here with Rick, it was against as an easy layup there from Donovan Bird Culver. Hennessy showed quite a bit of a propensity to not want to back down a single soul. He could have a 6'0" guy on him, and a block there turned aside Jalen Tucker. He just would much rather do fadeaways and little baby hooks, despite anybody that's 5 inches shorter than him, which is half the court, being guarding on him. So it's a shocker. He's put up some big numbers, but he is the only major rotation player. We've talked about the North having no one that shoots above 50% as part of their serious rotation. It's not much different for Oceania. Richard Hennessy, 51%. And that's our first time out. We're going to step aside. 2:10 to go. The North, an early lead in the first quarter in Australia.
When you hear your favorite song and you with your friends, Creek Blaze, OMG, I'm your biggest fan. It's your birthday and you ain't worried about your man. Shimon then.
Poppin' whip it, toppin' pictures, poppin' like a candle soda, pop the pictures, 7 digits, gotta count the quota, ever trippin', ain't no trippin', only stop with dollars rollin', can you dig it, I'ma get it, poppin' like a candle soda, poppin' like, whoop, poppin' like a candle soda, poppin' like a what, poppin' like a candle soda, can you tell her, poppin' like a candle soda, poppin' like, poppin' like a candle soda.
It's either vodka, green, or praise team. Been one of those nights at a hell of a price. No meek here, I chase dreams, double meaning. Your fights can be your icing. They got cake too, she got cake too. My eyes red in the sky blue, that's a gang truce. Can't go back to my old crew. Old ways or old wage or old boo. My new chick so cool, whipping my demons, swimming my old fears. My son is watching, my daughter's headed to college, and they can't eat off logic or God's timing unless it's God's timing. Whoa, whoa.
Whip it, toppin' pictures, poppin' like a candle soda, pop the pictures, 7 digits, gotta count the count.
We come from the land down under. 2:10 left in the first quarter. North on top of Oceania.
God.
You know it, Bobby. 17-14. North has seen that 8-point lead they had early on dwindle down to 3. Good first quarter so far for Oceania with 6 points out of Joe King Jr. Alex Rodriguez carrying the water, however, for the North.
You gotta be kidding me. Get it? Joe King.
Joe King. Joe King. That is a. He should stop going by Joe King Jr. Just go by Joe King.
I don't know. Something like that. Ooh.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
There's somewhere. Dancing a little too much. Terrible turnover.
Bob, what do we think of Marcus Leifot? Entering this season, Tyson Simpson leaves the North because I don't want to play here anymore. And there's all this back and forth with head coach Chris Canning about, kid doesn't want to be here, don't worry, we'll rely on Marcus Leifot. Marcus Leifot's shooting 35% from the floor, maybe the most inefficient scorer, yet he's still ranked 59. What is your opinion on this guy? Because it seems to me that there's a lot of overblown hype around him for a guy that's just not getting it done.
I like to blame the player typically, but I will blame the former coach by absolutely just, one, he didn't put them in any kind of position to succeed, and I think he's stunting all of these kids' growth. Clearly, Tyson Simpson seen something last season, and that is why he decided to get out of there when he could. I think at this point, Marcus Leifot's not doing great this season. His ranking is probably based almost solely on potential at this point, but I think he can move up. I do think that they were dealt a bad hand in the coaching area, but I'm sure we'll see him turning around a little. I think he'll do better at the next level, but I don't want to hold this against him just because, again, coaching, a bad coach can really ruin a team. They really can.
Well, no coach can be just as bad, and that's the current situation for the North, relying on assistant coaches only, a little rotation of assistants and not a single one, as Musa Mashad gets his free throw to go. Oceania on top now for the first time in this game, 19-17, on that and one conversion. But certainly there was a lot of gripe around the Tyson Simpson summer. His will he, won't he, where will he go? It seems as if he is getting the last. It doesn't seem as if he is getting the last laugh. He has been proven correct at every level of this this situation that has evolved in the absolute abomination of a season that the North has been enduring.
Let's talk about Tyson Simpson real quick.
Do it.
Because I know I'm getting a little bit of hate for my comments the other day. I don't think we've seen his potential yet. And I know he's top 5 points, top 5 rebounds, number 1 double-double guy. I don't think he has hit his potential. And I know there was a lot of the same slander in his name. Do you think we've seen him with his size and his skill? I just feel like we should be seeing 30, 20, and 10.
Well, I think that there's a couple of pieces that you'd like him to add, right? If Jokic is dominating the center headlines right now, and for good reason, as the North goes back up on top. But we're approaching the end of this first quarter, so let's hold that thought until the second. But I think you're on to something. Pull-up three at the buzzer will fall, and Oceania with .2 left. They're going to take a first quarter lead. The North was trying to cling on. They won't. 22-21. It's at least competitive through 8 down in Australia. Back for more action after this. Welcome back to the Opera House of Hoops. Bob, this is what you get on a Saturday morning Saturday afternoon. Saturday night? What's the time here? Saturday in Australia.
All I know is whatever we're getting makes me not want to wake up.
Or go to bed. It's one of the two. Just keep grinding out. Here we are, though. It is 22. Hold that. 24-21 Oceania as they've rallied back from an early 8-point hole. The North has struggled for much of this season to hold the rope, and today no different as Joe King Jr. had a good 6-point quarter to lead Oceania, but struggling is the North for buckets, and Marcus Leifat continues his struggles from the floor as well as he misses that pull-up three. The question you had asked, and it's relevant because of his departure from here as a two-handed slam makes it 26-21, was have we seen the best of Tyson Simpson? I think, and the answer is no. And there's 2 opportunities for him to add, and I think it's going to be important for almost every single big man to add these type of capabilities. Is one, the ability to pass from anywhere on the floor. Now, nobody is going to start expecting Magic Johnson type of playmaking from anybody on the level of Nikola Jokic, but 2 assists from a center, especially a starting center in today's basketball climate, is going to be too little. I think you're going to need to start finding players that can facilitate from the post, and I think also a 3-point, acumen is needed for him, so that you can't just crash the paint, tighten up the floor, and force him to hit contested post-up shots. Developing a jumper, even 18 feet in the vein of Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, will help him out.
For sure.
28-23, little cross up. Ooh, cannot
bad
complete
burner.
the highlight though. That's Lefont getting turned around on the defensive end. Corner 3, that goes for the North, and we're back to 28-26. Big bucket there from Cole Morris, who has been an efficient scorer for the North off the bench. 18 3-pointers, actually 3rd on the team entering the games. That'll be his 19th, despite only averaging 4.5 points per game. That's both a great thing for this team and the indication of the lack of depth that they have as well.
Yeah, I say it in this game from what I've seen so far. The only reason the North is down is they've been unable to capitalize on a lot of Oceania mistakes, and obviously missing some wide open shots. The North, they're really shooting themselves in the foot right now.
Well, Lefont missing wide open shots is not a storyline independent of this game, as his struggles have been well chronicled, but they're hanging around as their defense has played pretty well against this Oceania squad. Mid-ranger there won't fall. Rebound for the North heads the opposite direction. Jalen Tucker on that board. Kicks it over to Morris. Morris going into his Ziploc bag of tricks.
Drive back out.
Gotta love it. Very, very deep bag. 3-pointer there, though. An ugly one off the backboard and out there from Josiah Cohen. And the lid remains on. Obviously, the wind, obviously a topic of conversation for this outdoor court. We're fortunate, a quiet day on the water from the wind standpoint.
Before we get too far from what we just seen, I just want to point out, it just blows my mind. Again, Richard Hennessy was manned up on Jamani Baxter down low. 6'5", Jamani Baxter versus 7-foot Richard Hennessy. Threw his butt into him once, and then tried to. I don't even know what he wanted. He has to use his size to his advantage. I get that he's a kid, but this is not the same Richard Hennessy that we've seen in his pickup game. The one pickup game that we got to see of him before he signed. I don't know, he just kind of disappeared after that.
Well, he didn't do much better on that last possession down. He did get matched up with Jalen Tucker. So here's an alley-oop that he finishes. And that is going to tie this thing up at 30 apiece with 3:32 to play. We'll step aside real quick, coming back to Sydney after this break.
To make it 2-possession game, and they will. Definitely gonna have to look elsewhere. Oh!
We're back on the beautiful blue waters of Sydney, Australia. Oceania and the North knotted at 30 apiece with 3:32 to play in the second quarter. Final game of our Saturday international triple header. But invite you all to always stay tuned to the SimWorld Hoops action throughout the league. As we come back from timeout, we'll get you the upcoming games here for the next week of June.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we get to see the North. It's going to be taking on Europe, so the last game is Saturday, first game is Tuesday. Be interesting to see what happens there. Europe has not been as good as I expected them to be.
Yet still hanging around, tied for that 8th spot in the playoff in the race to 1. SimWorld TV schedule for Monday: Heartland Zombie Stars and Rocky Mountain Monsters at 8. Reigning Trays and Showtime at 9. Rocky Mountain, another win. They improved to 13-5. They seem to have righted the ship since that 3-game losing streak early on in the season. They've appeared to kind of come together pretty well, pretty consistently. One of the better teams right now in SimWorld Hoops, potentially a little overlooked in that, as Cole Webb drives to the rack for 2.
Yeah, honestly, the most interesting thing to me that I want to see on Tuesday is Dunk God Kayvon Jackson on Showtime basketball, taking on Showtime basketball. Just going to see what he does.
Certainly a big matchup there for the Reigning Trays. They are currently 10-9, so a chance to climb up the Legacy Conference standings. They're 7th in the conference. Alex Rodriguez to Tucker. Swings back around to Rodriguez.
Ooh.
Puts his man on skates for a little up and under.
Nice.
2 points. Count them. Alex Rodriguez, a top 10 play nominee with that ball handle and layup.
And don't ever be afraid, you guys watching the games. If any kind of top plays you think you want to see, let us know.
We're all inclusive here. Jumper won't fall there. Oceania unable to crack the lid. Two teams shooting relatively efficiently, right around 50% on both sides, but neither able to build much of a lead since the North led early by 8. They're trying to hang on for win number 5 on the season. 3-pointer there won't fall in and out. Alex Rodriguez, the board, the kick out, the 3, gets it to go. Jamani Baxter for 3 points. His 6th made 3 of the season. But the North back up by 5.
You know, when Jamani Baxter first came into the league, with how is that?
That was your boy Rich.
What is going on? He's trying to add into his back. Hey, you told him he needed to add a jumper. He heard you, and then he's trying.
Try to add that one in the practice realm a little bit before you break it out here, Ben Simmons. Enzo Wolf, the jumper, though, pushes it to 7.
But as I was saying before, Richard Hennessy went crazy there. Jamani Baxter, with how much he was talking before he joined the North, I really expected a lot more from him. I don't think we've really seen that.
Well, isn't that just what you get out of Harlem natives? A lot of talk, not a lot of action. 2.2 points, 40% shooting. 40% shooting, that might be in line with Harlem numbers. All right, I'm done. Full Webb inside. 20 seconds to play here in the first half. Oceania down by 7 most recently. Bucket there. Richard Hennessy, 2 more. His stat sheet's going to look real good. 4 points here in this quarter. Or at least recently. 6 points, I believe, in the frame. 10 seconds. Alex Rodriguez going to work on Joe King Jr. Gets it to go.
Where did this second quarter go?
Quick one. No whistles. Not a lot. Cole Webb, though. Deep 3. Off the back rim and out. That's halftime. 41-36. The North. Lowly North. 4-14 North. On top of Oceania. This is getting into a little dangerous territory right now for Oceania. A team that needs a win to stay involved in a very, very deep Legacy Conference. Do you think that they have enough, or is this just feel more like a ticking time bomb of the impending North implosion?
For this game, I think there might be enough in this game for them that come up with win number 5, but in general, I don't see them I don't think they can turn this around. I think we're a little too late into the season for them to make any kind of noise in the race to 1.
Well, certainly agree with that, but do you think they've got a shot to hold on here for the win?
I mean, I think so, unless Cole Webb can really turn it on or Richard Hennessy stops taking threes. But I think every now and again, a bad team's going to get a good win, so I think that'll be them tonight.
Welcome back to Australia. The North on top 41-36, surprisingly. Getting some big performances out of Alex Rodriguez, 11 first-half points, and Donovan Bird-Culver with 9. Bird-Culver plus 8 in his 10 minutes on the floor.
I think we're really seeing the North, if they can keep it up. I mean, they're already on pace to, score 10 more points than their season average, or 15 more points than their season average. So that might be where we're seeing a little bit of turnaround for them right now. But the biggest question is going to be, can they keep it up?
Alex Rodriguez can't get his first shot to fall. Started off a little cold, Rodriguez did, but went a little nuts in the second. That's 2 points, though, from Cole Webb, deemed by some to be the best international player in SimWorld Hoops, entered tonight, averaging 17.1 points, 34 made threes, tops on the team.
I'm not sure who you took that poll from.
I didn't take that poll from anyone. I just saw the question posed. I would disagree with it, most certainly. Because the other question is, and this was mentioned, was it with you on Tuesday, right? The North is technically an international team. Now, I'm not making the case here for Marcus Lefat, but I think you throw Alex Rodriguez into that conversation, the Toronto native. Ajay Feshbenlay, despite, reason being a bad Africa season, but he's still an incredibly talented player, has his flaws, but very, very talented. I do not think Cole Webb is the best international prospect.
I mean, you got Henrik Vekic still. I mean, I know they're not one. They're doing better. I talk a little trash on Europe because when you think of Europe, you think of the second best basketball players in the world, and they're not really playing like it. So I just expect in SimWorld Hoops that they be a top 10 team, and they have not played like it yet. But with players like Papadopoulos and Klum and Vekic, I think they got the talent. They'll figure it out.
I mean, Klum, 23 made threes, 56% from deep. Franz Lustig, 55% from deep, 20 made threes. And of course, Henrik Vekic, I took him in our preseason pick 6. I thought he would have a better season than he's having, but he still is 14 points, 6 rebounds. He's no slouch. Does try to stretch the floor a little bit, 28% from deep. I'd like to see that number rise slightly, but at least he's gotten some type of production from there.
Yeah, I think we'll see a change now that they have a new coach out there, Ron Mack. I think that's going to be a huge boost to them.
And that is, to me, the biggest thing that just we talk about teams like the North, like now Gotham 5, but having a coach in there that's making intelligent decisions really matters. H-Town Hoopers is a really good basketball team. They survived with a non-apparent Ray Fox based off that talent, as Richard Hennessy gets this one to go, foul called on Phelan Tucker. But having a coach that is involved in making good decisions. We've seen it with the originators. We've seen it with Bay Area.
Yeah.
Those are good coaches making good decisions. When you don't have that, it really does negatively impact your team.
Yeah, can we, as much as we talked about, how much we've talked about him today, does anybody have a birth certificate for Hennessy? I mean, we just
He's
got
not 16.
we just
no
got
way.
we just got to zoom in of his face right there. I'm saying minimum 36. They cut
I mean,
20
look,
years off.
He's from Cuba, so I'm pretty sure what happened is he came up to the league with the bench warmers type of vibe, with the little I am 12 picture of him, call it a passport, call it a day. Clearly there's must be some type of what's the word I'm looking for, bribery going on at the SimWorld Hoops League office to let him in.
Yeah, but you know, it makes it even a little more disappointing that he isn't putting up.
Doing better.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 7 foot 275. He's 16 years old. I mean, I'm curious what he's going to look like when he's not, or when he's out of puberty. Did he hit puberty when he was 8? I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be real interesting to see. Just is he going to get any bigger next season? I mean, could you imagine him coming out 7'2", 300 pounds? I mean,
Is he still going to be as ripped as he is currently, as he gets the foul called there on Jalen Tucker?
maybe, as long as he's not shooting jump shots anymore. I don't know if anybody's going to matter. I mean, he just
As
needs
long
to.
as he's not hanging out in Dallas with Zion. Or the Dallas equivalent in Australia, whatever that may be. I don't know, Queensland? I don't know. That's not a shot at Queensland. I'm just throwing out places I know of.
It's the only place. I don't know any place outside of Australia. Australia. That's all I know.
That was good.
I don't know anywhere. Where?
I was curious on that one, but I wasn't gonna call it out.
I was just gonna let you go, and I'm like, I don't know. I get Australia. That's other than giant spiders. I have no idea.
I feel like I think of Australia. We've been here a couple times now with Oceania games, but I still we're in and out so quick. I can't have this rumor dispelled, but I feel like all of there you go. I feel like all of Australia is just the Forbidden Forest in Harry Potter. That's just my assumption. The spiders are massive. There's centaurs running around.
That's where they recorded it.
Right, exactly. I haven't been proven wrong, so I'm sticking to it for now. 49-47, Oceania on top midway through the third quarter. The North sticking around, but Richard Hennessy, 2 more. And here's the thing with Hennessy. Where he has been great, and they've utilized him a lot on that, is as the rim runner in pick and roll, as this ball rolls all the way across the midline, clock still running. I kind of feel as if there's a little bit of the fact that Hennessy's not more dominant because he's not used as much in that capacity. Now, I'm not trying to fight the narrative that he's not an aggressive player against bad competition or smaller players. That's true, but I don't think that he's utilized as much in that pick and roll as he should be.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest issues is just some of these kids not being put in the right positions, whether it's a coaching decision during the game or maybe they just aren't fit for that particular system. I mean, coaches can make some changes all they want. We look at last season, before the season, during the ground zero season, at the start of the season, Johnny Baldwin, who was he before Coach Dodge took over and there were some changes made? I don't know if anybody was really talking about him. No. And then all of a sudden he was a top 5, top 10 player. The rest of the season put up, what was it, 45? I think it was 45 points.
Something like that, one of those, that ballpark.
Yeah, and it just, all it takes is just a coach making a little change that can completely turn the team around. And that's what happened. I mean, he started rim running and he was cut to the basket, wide open, using his physicality. That's a player like Richard Hennessy. If you get him running to the basket with a full head of steam, I apologize, guys. I am still asleep, kind of. Get him running to the basket with a full head of steam and look out.
Well, I know as we get the foul called there on Crane, Charlie Crane, I know that the Steve Kerr approach is never spam the pick and roll because it makes you one-dimensional, and I do agree with that, point. But in quarters 1 through 3, a Cole Webb, Richard Hennessy pick and roll is what I would be going to until the opposing team proves as Alex Rodriguez 3 gives the North the lead. I'm using that pick and roll until you've proven on consecutive plays you can stop it, because like we've said, nobody is as big as Richard Hennessy. 7 foot 275, and he's athletic. He's not a ground pound big. As a 3 answered on the other end, that's from Travion Abbas II. I'm using the pick and roll until you prove it to me you can stop it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of blows. And we've seen here, that's the third alley-oop Richard Hennessy easily made. I'd like to see him finish it with a dunk, but you know what? Whatever.
Yep, was going to say the same thing.
But, ooh!
There's 2 points for you, Bradley Anton, beg your pardon.
I want to see a little bit more. Ooh!
There you go. Musaf Mashad does it for you.
He's not out here right now, which is kind of mind-boggling.
Who am I talking then? Oh, is that Jackson
sorry.
Whitlock?
No, sorry. You're right. I was talking out loud still. I'd like to see more from Cool Webb. He had that one, probably the easiest basket that you'll ever get earlier in the third quarter to start, but outside of that, I mean, he hasn't done a whole lot tonight to help Oceania pull away. I mean, they pulled away a couple times in the first when he was on the court, but since he's been off, I mean, either the North has been winning or they've been keeping it close.
Fadeaway won't fall, and I think that's to me, the biggest reason why I'm not going to consider him the best international player, because I don't know on a consistent basis what you're going to get. Right? I know Alex Rodriguez is going to come out and be aggressive, and I understand Cole Webb is averaging more points, but to have a player that's consistently, I know he's going to take this number of shots, he's going to be this type of impact. It's the same thing when you look at the top players in the league. There's a reason that it's Bronny James, DJ Wagner, and Trey Turner, because on any given night you know exactly what you're going to get from them. Yeah, Kadarius Loftus had the massive game. Right? Yeah, Victorious Ilgauskas will have very impactful defensive nights, but it's just not a consistent basis. There's a 3 there from Alex Rodriguez, his second of the quarter, 1-point advantage for the North here, 5 seconds to play in the third. This is Joe King Jr. for 3 off the back rim and out, and that's how we're playing headed to the final 8. The North not going away. 57-56, Alex Rodriguez smelling win number 5. Fourth quarter, 8 minutes to go, coming up after this. Welcome back to Australia. Oceania trails the North by 1 thanks to 17 points from Alex Rodriguez, 12 points from Donovan Bird-Culver, and Jamani Baxter in just 9 minutes of hoops is plus 12. That's a game high, as he has played efficiently for the North off the bench, 2 for 2 shooting and lights out defense from Baxter.
Yeah, I think he's setting himself up to get a little bit more playing time with the way he's playing today.
You would hope so, but with no coach, you never really can figure out. That one is a turnover from Cole Webb. They went into that pick and roll action to no luck with Hennessy and Webb. With Rodriguez. Marcus Lafat just 4 shots tonight, 2 for 4. Alex Rodriguez getting freed up for a 3. Wants it, gets it. That's his 3rd straight made triple. And the North on top by 4 early in the 4th quarter. Now there is certainly signs as Richard Hennessy goes to the paint, draws the 3rd foul on Jalen Tucker. We play 5 fouls and you're out. He's got a chance to add him 2 more. Hennessy 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 blocks in this game. But a seemingly quiet 12 points, as we mentioned, hasn't been hyper aggressive in the paint.
Yeah, and heard he had 22 and 12 in his last game, but you know, one game doesn't impress me. So
well, 22 and 12, great, but the night before 4 and 10 against Yacht Club, 2 of 13 shooting. Against Africa, 8 and 10, 4 of 11 shooting. Certainly he has his good games. He averages almost a double-double, averages 2.6 blocks. He's had double-figure blocks in every game except 1 since April 22nd. There's no saying that he's not a good basketball player.
Correct.
There's just a switch that he doesn't, that Tyson Simpson hits that Richard Hennessy does not. I think that's the point of this.
Absolutely.
But the point of this game is Alex Rodriguez continues to cook. 22 points from the North Star as he has taken over Marcus Lafat's duties as the #1 player for good reason.
Maybe it would be smart for the North to experiment a little bit. I mean, it really can't get much worse than what they are right now. But maybe have Marcus Lafat come off the bench for a couple games, see what he does, see if he brings a spark to the bench. Have A-Rod and Baxter out there running together, see what that does.
Bob, this is actually a great opportunity to make this statement. We have some coach openings, so if you are interested in being a coach, we invite you to join our Discord, discord.gg/SimWorldNBA. Apply to be a head coach because that is a great, heady decision, but they need a coach to do it. So if you are tuning in looking to get involved, we have some coach openings and some good basketball teams that you could lead the way for. So apply now.
Coach openings, some player openings. I mean, if you wanna see get on the court, some pickup games, and get picked up for next season, get out there, fill out that application. If you want to be a commentator for us or a sports media writer, let us know. Hit us up and see if we can get you a part of the team there too.
Yeah, are you good at giving really bad takes? Well, we could use you.
I mean, I have a job, so.
Ranked 9th point exactly. Me, you, Rick can be pretty icy cold. 2 points there, though. We're tied back up at 62. Whoever had the over on late fourth quarter of the first Rick dig, you win. Richard Hennessy can't get that one to fall. Jalen Tucker has played some good defense against him. 6'8", 256. One of the few guys that can match him physically, but it's Alex Rodriguez continuing to cook, making his case if they can hold on here for SimWorld Hoops Player of the Week. 24 points now from Alex Rodriguez, the White Wolf.
Interesting.
We'll find a nickname for him eventually. We're just going to keep popping him in and out.
Well, with the way he's playing right now, he might hit 30 points for this game, so it'll be interesting to see.
Timeout from the North, 4:09 to play, knotted at 64 apiece. We'll step aside, coming back for the conclusion here in Australia.
We were at the party last night. See Tom and Jen? We're so cute together. And we even wearing matching sneakers.
It's no problem.
看上来真的好帅哦，气味很可爱。哎呀，你不要这样子啦，干嘛呢你？
那你让他看你内裤吧。
哼，也许啊。
真的吗？
Welcome back. Oceania North tied up 64 apiece. The North has really been in control for much of this game. Led early by 8. Led in the third quarter by 7. I guess in control is an exaggeration. It's been competitive. But the North has not really trailed by much in this one, thanks to a big night, 24 points from Alex Rodriguez. They try to free him up. Had him open for a split second. He goes inside. Now it's turned away by Joe Kane Jr. Once again, trying to free Rodriguez. Wants a 3. Gets the 3. 5th three-pointer made from Alex Rodriguez. He's got 27.
Hold on, Marsh. Look at that score. What are we coming to?
67-64. Thank you, Bob, for pointing out. Of course, everyone knows the rules. First one to 69 wins. Has to be 69 on the button. Of course, it doesn't. Game will not stop. We keep playing. But the history books tell us the first to 69 will do it. Cole Webb wants 3. Won't get it. Chance here from the North. Will it be Alex Rodriguez in transition? To the rack he goes. Up. Can't get it to fall. This is where the game really gets exciting, folks. Around that 3-minute mark when 69 is in reach. Richard Hennessy won't get it to fall. Rebound to Tucker.
So disappointing just to not to finish this.
Rodriguez, the mid-range, also won't fall. Seems as if these guys are pressing for that 69th point. Here's Musa Mashad going to work. Fade away with a little Dirks fade.
Let's see, does A-Rod get the 2 or does Cool Webb hit that 3? Oh.
A-Rod wants a 3. He says, mess around with me. I don't need 69. I want 70. 6th made 3. He's at 30 points in this game.
Has he had a better game than he's had tonight? This evening?
I don't think he has.
Whatever.
This day. Previous high was 24. As 3-pointer there from Mashad won't fall. Rebound heads the other way. That's Bert Culver. He's had a great game for the North.
I mean, he's clearly a very impressive. I would have liked to see him take that 3 right there, but
a bold step back. Could have had that one up, but times it up. 32 now from Rodriguez. Threatening to rise the ranks. He's currently ranked 41st. Go ahead, Bob.
Oh no, that's an extremely low ranking for him to begin with. I think. Just looking at. Ooh, there he goes.
Now, Bob, we've got 145. I want to ask you this: is this the biggest upset of the season? If the North can hang on?
No. I would say no. I don't think. No. It's not.
Okay. Donovan Brugh-Culver to the rack. He gets 2 more over Cole Webb. It could be one of the more disappointing losses for any team that needed a win like Oceania.
For sure. I mean, I still think we can go back to, I forget if it was it Showtime's first game of the season when they lost to APAC? Was that the first game of the season for them?
Yep.
I mean, that's still with as much hype as, oh my goodness. Good Lord. What is going on?
No touch there from Hennessy. And this is it. A bucket here pushes us to 6, Bob.
It does. I think with the way that Oceania is shooting on the other end and just the way that they're shooting on the other end, I just don't think they can come back from this.
Jalen Tucker, the bucket. That draws a timeout. 8-point lead, the largest of the game since the first quarter. And the North, 50 seconds away from their 5th win and stunning Oceania on the road. We're back for the conclusion. No, I take it back. We're sticking around. I've got the voice of reason in my head. We're sticking around, Bob. This is... I know. You mentioned, I kind of cut you off earlier, this wouldn't be the biggest upset, but it would be maybe the most impactful loss for a team, especially considering the circumstance. They're at 8-11, game out of the playoffs, late in the season.
Absolutely. I mean, their Oceania has been one of those teams where it's like, you kind of forget about them. At 8-11, they're right there. They're right there too. I mean, they're in the conference itself. They're 11th. In their own division, they're fifth, which is not obviously great. But there's still, I think there's enough time for an 8-11 team to turn things around. I mean, this is just a loss to a 4-14 team that is 16th in the conference, 6th in their own division. There's no incentive for the North to win this game, but there is a ton of incentive for Oceania to lose this game.
Well,
that's not the word that I wanted to use, but you get what I'm saying.
I do. They're part of that, what I've called the SimWorld middle class, where it's a pretty large swath of teams where you don't really know one way or another what they are or what they're going to give you, but they're going to leave you disappointed in some direction because they can't keep wins together or nights like this where they fall. But in need of a bucket, chance here to rally back. Mashad, 3, gets it, not done yet, 5-point game. I beg your pardon, that's Jackson Whitlock for the 3, 5-point game. Enzo Wolf, we have not seen the ball in Marcus Layfont's hands much at all here in this quarter.
Ooh, this is not what you want to see. You do not want to see him driving.
They get it to Alex Rodriguez. He'll kick it out. They want a 3. Buckets!
Dagger. That's it. That's
Good
it, folks.
night. Donovan Bird-Culver has played the role of Robin to Alex Rodriguez, Batman, tonight, and the 3 there finishes it off.
I will be swimming back. I'm not taking the boat. It's still a little wet. I'm not taking the jet. I'm going to swim back to America now.
Swimming back, you can get going on that one, Bob. It's a long journey, but it's going to be the North. They will enjoy their trip back to Canada, a 79-71 win. Alex Rodriguez and Donovan Bird-Culver carry the weight for the North in a stunning upset on SimWorld TV. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Bob, for making the swim. Everyone, we're back on Monday for more SimWorld Hoops action. As always, beg your pardon, Tuesday. Thank you, Tuesday. But as always, see the game, be the game.